Well, thank you very much for having us. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Brett, for being here, and everyone. So to get started, we're the Yes on 2 campaign. I'm the campaign manager. And what we're really aimed at is giving voters the most amount of voice, the most amount of choice, and the most amount of power in their votes in November and August, in the primary and the general. These reforms, affect state-run, state-paid for elections. And what they are aimed at is making sure that we're treating all voters the same, regardless of partisan registration, all candidates the same, regardless of partisan registration, and at the end of the day, electing folks with more support. So electing folks with over 50% plus one support. So if we could go on to the next slide. So the first reform inside ballot measure 2 is doing away with our closed primary system. It's really simple. All the candidates for state and U.S. congressional office compete on the same ballot, accessible by all Alaska voters. Right now, we have a petition process for some candidates. Some candidates run in a Democratic primary. Some candidates run in a Republican primary. What we are doing is forcing the 63% of Alaskans who choose not to register as either Republican or Democrat to be Republican or Democrat for the primary election. That's our current system. What we're saying is, let's level the playing field. Let's put all of the candidates on one ballot, and let's have the top 4 vote getters move on to the general election. So what the result is more choice for Alaskans from the 4 best candidates in each district and across the state. Next slide, please. The next portion is instituting ranked choice voting in the general election. First, what this gives us is majority winners every time. Right now, under our current system, if you go in to vote and your candidate doesn't win, then you, as a voter, get the exact opposite of what you want. You have the worry of spoiler candidates. So, this is a phenomenon where party bosses or strategists will throw in a candidate as a nonpartisan or an Alaskan Independence Party, and they'll try and carve off one of the major 2 parties so that they can squeak out a win with 35 to 45% of the vote. We don't believe in this. What we believe is that if you have candidates, have a system that incentivizes candidates to campaign to the entire district. If you incentivize candidates to represent over 50% of their district, then you have a true representative democracy. And that's what we're aimed at. And what you get as a result are positive campaigns, bridge building, and higher competition. I like to say this is a free market system of elections. And so on the next slide, we have a video that will show exactly how this is done. And I believe if I could share my screen really quick,
Sure.
I will be able to play that video real quick.
Are you able to share your screen? All right, there you go.
Yes, sir.
Let's look at an example. Here, Tom has selected salmon as his first choice, eagle as his second choice candidate, bear as his third, and caribou as his final choice. Because no candidate got more than 50% of the vote, the candidate with the fewest votes, salmon, is eliminated, and Tom's vote instantly goes to eagle, his second choice. The process continues until one candidate wins with the majority of the votes, or 50% plus 1.
And then could you open up my slideshow really quick for one final slide?
Okay, one moment.
Sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead.
And then next slide. There we go. So the final reform is something that 81% Alaskans agree to. We need more transparency in our campaign financial disclosure. What we have right now is dark money pouring into the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars, and we need to know who the true sources are. We can't limit that funding because of Citizens United, the decision at the U.S. Supreme Court, but what we can do is require campaigns to disclose the true source of contributions. Both donors and recipients are required to disclose contributions greater than $2,000 within 24 hours of receiving them. Any group receiving more than 50% of its funding from outside of Alaska must include that information on a disclaimer in all communications. This is more financial disclosure. It gives Alaska voters more power in their right to know who is paying money to influence their votes. And with that, I will end my time.